Coming up on this episode of Heal Squad.
There was a woman that had chronic back pain. In her dream, she was walking backwards. So she got up from her dream when she woke up and she was embodying the dream and she started walking backwards and she felt her back pain release. So she's like, okay, this is really weird. She looked it up and it turns out that in Japan, some Asian cultures, they have a practice by which you walk backwards and it's supposed to release all kinds of back pain.
What?
And there was data. Yes. So interesting. Her dream showed her what her subconscious mind was tapped into, but her conscious mind had no idea about.
Hello, Heal Squad. Today we are turning those wild dreams of yours into real life magic. Literally, because Dr. Dream is back with us, the amazing Kelly Sullivan Walden, one of America's most trusted dream experts. Last time she was here, she helped us decode our dreams. Today, she's showing us how to manifest through them. Yeah, she's calling it Dreamifesting, and it's all in her new book. Let's see, I'll pull it up here. It's got all my junk on it. It's called Dreamifesting, like I said, harnessing the power of your dreams to create the life you desire. She's also sharing some secret dream decoding formulas as well, which I'm definitely writing down because I've been dreaming a lot lately. But first, our quote of the day. Every dream is working on behalf of our healing, health, and wholeness if we choose to see it correctly. And that, of course, is from Kelly's new book. All right, guys, let's jump into Dreamifesting with Kelly. So, Kelly, welcome back to the show.
So great to be with you, Maria. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. So, Dreamifesting, you've written a lot of books. It was like 11 books or something?
Yeah, it's my 11th.
11th book. How are you getting inspiration for an 11th book? And where is Dreamifesting coming from?
Oh, well, this is a strange way of answering it, but many years ago, I did The Artist's Way. I don't know if you've heard of Julia Cameron's Artist's Way, but it was a creative unblocking book. And out of doing that workshop, I started writing my first book. And I found writing to be such a healing practice. It's become a massive part of my spiritual journey. And it's interesting, the publisher of The Artist's Way is the publisher of my book. So it's just such an interesting, kind of magical behind the scenes. But really, I've been writing books for a long time, partly because I'm obsessed with it and I have a lot to say. And somebody said once, if you write a book, it's like you get to speak uninterrupted without, so maybe that's why.
Oh, wow. That's great.
I was once called very loquacious when I was young. And I'm like, what does that mean? I looked it up in the dictionary and they had put a picture of me next to it. It says fond of talking.
Oh, my.
Whatever.
Oh, my dad used to say, Maria, you talk too much. And now I'm like, I do really well talking a lot.
Yeah, thank you very much. But Dreamifesting is the book I've been working on really my whole career for the last 25 years. This is the one that's been in the background the whole time, the one I knew, like, I can't stop writing until I get this book out. So it's the quintessential essence of everything I feel to be true about dream work and how practical it is to help us live dreamier lives.
So I'm excited to dive into it, but you said something that also intrigued me about the artist's way.
Yeah.
And I feel like we all are creatives, and we're going to get to a little of this with the book because there's a whole part of this too that is connected to that, but opening up that creative channel. So you said you did the workshop.
Yeah.
And then you wrote your first book. I think it's interesting for the Heal Squad to hear that because I think creativity might be part of kind of the happiness secret.
Oh.
I'm just getting the download right now that might be what's missing in our lives and why we have maybe less happiness and less joy.
Oh, wow. I could go off on a whole tangent here, but I'm remembering back to, so in my early 20s, I had a very dark night of the soul, didn't want to be on the planet anymore. I threw myself into 12-step programs, every 12-step program, almost everyone, and every form of healing, therapy, hypnotherapy, shamanism, whatever, all of it. And I noticed that I was doing better. I was starting to get my dreams back, and my dreams were a huge part of my healing. but I had this malaise and deep depression, and I wasn't on medication, but I could just feel all the work I was doing was helping, but the depression was still so close. And the moment I started to create and started to write, I could feel it shifting, like alchemizing, not getting rid of it, but alchemizing it. So kind of like with dream work and writing, they're very similar, because I always say, go after the dark stuff, write about the difficult things, and turn the nightmares into rightmares. And so it becomes its own path, like that saying, what's in the way is the way. So heading toward it, like I tell people to do with nightmares, when you do that, you find this hidden treasure trove of empowerment. It's not meant to kill you. It's meant to ultimately make you stronger. So creating is, to me, such a essential thing. I mean, and we were talking about Rasuli off camera. His whole path, he's the artist that I've worked with a lot on my Oracle decks. But he's like, you must create. Destruction precedes creation. And anyway, it's just, yeah. And dream work, I think, helps us to be awake to what's in our blind spot.
Well, it does precede creation, because if you think about it, you go through the dark times to have some kind of resurrection, some kind of rebirth, some kind of, transformation.
Yes.
But it's funny, when you were just talking about it, I was like, wait, that's the missing element.
It is. It totally is. In my experience, I mean, this is why I teach dream work and I teach writing. I mean, I work with people on getting their books created as well, because they go hand in hand. And I can work with people that have had the most horrific stories, horrible PTSD because of just living through life, of it, rape and all kinds of things. But the moment they start writing about it, and I know from my experience, when I turned and started to write about my most difficult things, and some of those stories show up in the book. One of them is about these wolves that always chased me. I'll tell you about that later. But I could see the lights turning on. And then all of a sudden, it's not like we're just coping, white knuckling through life. But once you can alchemize the pain, then it's almost like, and I don't want to be so bold as to say being fearless, but kind of like,
because you're taking back your power in a weird way.
Exactly.
Oh my God. It's interesting, because my husband's a creative, and so he would die inside when he wasn't writing.
Yeah.
Literally die. And I didn't understand it, because I was in my worker bee mode of life. But I'm seeing creativity just brighten me up. Even just stupid things like finding new floral arrangements to make just off of the random things in my yard. And it could be twigs, it could be anything. It doesn't have to be real flowers. It could be I was making one from the tops of broccoli. After the broccoli's done, it's these little yellow flowers that sprout. Ooh. And so just getting some creativity back has been really powerful. But I never thought about till just now. I was getting a mini little download, and it was like, creativity is the thing that we're all missing in our lives to have that pure joy.
If you think about it, from the Toltec perspective, they talk about how, and it's not just the Toltecs, but God is the creator. We are creations of God. I mean, we're going to get spiritual, I know. That's not so.
But I'm all in.
Being, and then when we, as a creation of the creator, when we are in the act of creating,
we're the closest to God.
We are connected to God, and we're doing what we came here to do. So that's, and I think, and it's interesting because when I work with people in any way and they're having some kind of a block, I ask them, well, ask your dreams to help to unblock it. Write your dream down when you wake up in the morning, and then start writing back in your, whatever your project is, from the dream. So Pablo Picasso, going back to something you said earlier, he said that every child is an artist. And from that same perspective, every child, every human is a dreamer. We all dream 3 to 9 dreams every night, whether we know it or not. So we all have access to this other plane of reality, this shamanic realm or the spiritual realm, whatever you want to call it. because we all dream. We have to dream. We sleep in order to dream. And if we create from that place, even if it seems bizarre, it's like it opens us to this, it kind of just opens an amazing portal.
Yeah. It's funny. Last night was asking God, I'm like, God, show me what I need to know through my dreams tonight. I don't remember any of them right now, but it's a new practice I started last night because I was like, wait,
that's some dreamifesting.
I have for many years, if I remembered my dream the next day, it came true in some form.
Oh, wow.
But I was seeing world events and it was freaking me out.
Oh, wow.
And so it was like a psychic kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so my channels have been opening up a lot lately where I'm seeing dreams and they are real and they are true. So then I was like, wait, if I'm doing it for other people, I'm like, I could do it for myself. So I was like, God, show me what I need to know.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's right at the heart of Dreamifesting. Because the book is about dreams, it's about manifesting, but it's about what's different about this compared to other manifestation books and things like that is that it's really about the moments right before you go to sleep. The questions you ask, the thoughts you think.
It's like planting.
It's planting a seed. And not just doing, I mean, there's the simplest way is to say, show me what I need to know. But then you can get a little more fancy with it, which is like, well, help me with X.
Be more specific.
Right. So whatever this ache or pain is in my life, or whatever aspiration there is, or whatever creative project there is, or, and these are some of the practices in the book, but to really think about the things that you want in this life from an aspiration perspective, the health, the wealth, the red Ferrari, whatever it is. And not just imagining that you already have it, but imagining that if you have it, then what comes next? What is that? Usually, what does that give you that's underneath the red Ferrari? And often that is a sense of like, I have a right to be here. I've earned my place. I'm at peace. Now I can just love people. Now I don't have that chip on my shoulder anymore. So really, the red Ferrari, it was never about the red Ferrari. It was about, I just want to love people, and it's a permission slip to love. So we give ourselves that energy before we go to sleep, and we might get the red Ferrari, but we're going to have that peace. Our dreams are going to help show us how to have more of that deep connection that we've been really wanting all along. C.S. Lewis has this quote that says something like, if you go after if you go after heaven, you'll get earth thrown in. If you just go after earth, you'll get neither. So, yeah, I think go after a little bit of heaven before you go to sleep.
Okay.
And then you get earth thrown in.
So will you kind of explain what dreamifesting is?
Yeah. So dreamifesting is the practice of allowing your dreams and your dreaming consciousness, which is your subconscious, which is your spiritual consciousness. It's anything other than your ordinary logical mind. So it's allowing your dreaming mind to do the heavy lifting of creating the things that you want in your life. We all must manifest. We all need to create some kind of a roof over our heads and clothes on our bodies and foods in our belly and Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We all must create, but some of us do it the hard way, like the matter on matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The will, the force.
And I call that like extreme manifesting, like get the hell out of my way, move it.
Yep.
And we can get a lot done from that pushy.
Oh, you see a lot of people do
dream.
that. I mean, I'm thinking of people in our business that are just bulls.
Yes.
They are bulls.
Yes. And you can create results that way.
Yeah.
And there's a cause and effect. There's a price you pay. There's adrenal burnout. There's cortisol. All the health ramifications that come from that. And then we have the other opposite extreme, which I call womanifesting. The extreme version of womanifesting is, help me. I can't do it myself. Somebody do it for me quick before I cry a river and completely make everybody crazy. So people tend to do stuff for the person that just is helpless. So they also create by getting other people to do it for them.
Whoa. That might be fun for a little bit.
For a little while. Well, I think dreamifesting is where you take the best of manifesting, because like the suit up and show up, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and the best of womanifesting, which is, it takes a team to build a dream. I can't do it all myself. but then standing in the center, in that sweet spot of the human aspect, but then the divine aspect, where you say, God, can you help? And we're most open and available in the moments before sleep. I mean, we can pray all day long. In fact, we do our best if our lives are a constant prayer.
I am in a constant prayer.
There you go. Yeah, and which is why you're also so psychic when you're dreaming, because the veil between worlds is thin for you. I imagine. But the veil for most of us is thinnest in the moments right before we go to sleep and right when we wake up. It's prime real estate for paying attention, for connecting with the divine.
Well, because it's the only stillness you're probably having.
We're a captive audience.
Yeah.
We're normally like, I got this, God. No, you're fine. Do whatever, but I'm gonna take this.
Yeah.
Because there's some sense of, we've all been hurt before. And so there's some part of us that doesn't completely trust that if we just surrender to the divine, that we're not going to land on our ass.
Oh my God, it's so scary, but it works. It does work.
Yeah.
I promise it works.
Exactly. Even if it's like leap and build your wings on the wave, and you might crash.
You still might crash, but then you're going to lift.
Right. There's a story in my book about this woman who dreams of, she was about to go out on a leap in her life, and she has a dream that she's on a cliff, and she jumps and she falls and she lands on the ground in a puddle, and all these people are watching, and it's like, ugh! So the worst thing happened, but in her dream, she stands up, brushes herself off, and walks away. And she's like, oh my God. So
But what did it correlate to in real life?
Because she was so she had been a journalist, but she wanted to be a yoga instructor. And she's like, should I take that leap? I'm so scared. I've got this financial security. So in her dream, she takes the leap and she lands on her ass, and she makes a fool of herself in front of all these people. But she tells herself, so there's some part of her, there's another half of her standing on the cliff that watched the whole thing happen. And she tells herself, wow, so even if the worst thing happens to me, I'm going to still be okay. So the other half of her that's up on the cliff says, well, I'm going to also jump. She jumps and she gets picked up by like a magic carpet and sails all the way across. And she's like, okay, I'm going to do it. So she wakes up the next morning. I'm covered in chills.
That's a crazy dream.
Isn't that amazing? But that's what our dreams do. It shows us, like, we ask the question, should I do this? And we will get an answer.
Wow.
We live in a feedback system. There's another dream similar.
Wait, so did she become a yoga? I need to know. I need to know again.
She's, yeah. Sorry. I know. I get so caught up. But yes, she became a yoga instructor. Now she's a yoga teacher. She's doing quite well. And and there was some bumpy moments between when she quit her stable job and became, she did a little couch surfing for a bit, and it was embarrassing to her ego, but she was fine.
Yeah.
And then she eventually, soon after, did what she came here to do.
Probably never looked back.
Exactly.
I'm just fascinated by the fact that she had the second part of her recognize that and be able to do that. That's not something I've ever been able to see or experience in my dreams. But I have had the prior, which you said, the ask and receive.
Yeah.
That I've very much mastered in real life, like during the day.
Yes.
Always.
So the action is an essential piece. I say there's 4 parts to Dreamifesting. There's the identifying what it is you want your dreams to help you with. And I have a meditation called the soul goal meditation. You go from the ego goal, red Ferrari, to what's under it. And you meditate on that as you go to sleep. So part 1 is figuring out what your soul goal is. Number 2 is waking up in the morning with a remembered dream. And even if you don't remember a dream, because a lot of people have a hard time remembering dreams, write something down first thing upon awakening, because it will likely be dream adjacent or connected. If you do that for a week in a row, you're going to start remembering your dream. So remember your dream. And then I say spend a little bit of time identifying what your dream is trying to tell you. I have this thing called Jet Set. It's a dream interpretation formula that's in the book. And then the 4th step is to then take some action on your dream in your waking.
But see, people have told us that our dreams don't mean anything. So I think we've all been trained to not pay attention. But I was telling you before we started, and I've mentioned this on the show before, but I used to have very vivid dreams of world events. And I would wake up, and if I remembered the dream, it would come true. And it was scary stuff. And then I got so freaked out and I was like, no more, no more, no more.
Right.
But what I didn't realize is until now, because it started happening again, what I didn't realize is all of the things I attributed to just feelings were actually messages. I don't know if feelings are just what we throw away in society. I believe that they are messages because as I'm kind of going back and I'm paying attention with a different eye now, I'm like, that was a message, that was a message, that was a message. It isn't just when I'm asking, it's coming all the time.
Correct.
I just was throwing it away, but I'm looking back, I'm like, no, I knew that, I knew that, I knew that. And there were so many times because you just go so fast. My husband's like, how did you know this? Because we would have a meeting. I'm like, well, don't you know that they're just going to do X, Y, and Z and then this and this and this? And he's like, how do you know? And I'm like, how do you know that? And he knew it was right. And I'm like, well, because it was so easy for me. But I'm starting to realize just in the last 2 weeks that feelings need to be much more paid attention to, just like our dreams, because those dreams were clear. And now I'm calling people when I have a dream about them. I called a friend recently because I was like, I had a dream. Her and her partner were going to have another baby. And I woke up in the morning. I'm like, well, that's crazy. They have a 7-year-old. I know they don't want any more kids. And something just kept saying, call her, call her, call her. And so I called her and I said, hey, I had a dream about you last night. I know this is crazy, but I have to just share it because I keep feeling the, compelling feeling I have to tell you. Said I had this dream about you and your partner, and all I remember is fertility, fertility, fertility. And then you guys wanted to have another baby, but I know that's crazy. And she's like, Maria, I have chills all the way up and down my body. And I go, what? And she's like, we didn't even tell our mom yet. We have just been talking in this last week about having another baby, and we have to use fertility because my partner's trans. And I was like, holy shit, it's back. Holy shit. And so she was like, what else did you see? And I'm like, well, don't hold me to it, but I swear I saw a kid, but it was older. So I was so confused. I didn't know what that meant. And she was like, well, we've also said if we can't, we're going to adopt. I go, well, I think that's what you're doing. I don't know.
Oh my God. Okay, that's beautiful.
But I bet a lot of people have these dreams and don't listen.
Right.
Because we're trained to think we're crazy.
Exactly. Robert Moss, a great dream teacher, he wrote a book called The Three Only Things. Things that you say, oh, it was only a dream, it's only intuition, it's only a feeling. And yet those are the things that are the most, that's our wisdom. That's most of who we are.
Wow. It's so true.
We're trained. What matters is what we focus on, what has matter. And that's about 1% of the whole story. Mm-hmm. So all the other things that are invisible, we could say, as we evolve as a species, I think we're going to be all the way that you just expressed. We're going to pay attention to those feelings. We're going to pay attention to those dreams. We're going to pay attention to those hunches, and we'll ground it back into reality. We're not going to just run off and go wild. But I think you're absolutely on. And I want to commend you for the way that you expressed your dream, because sometimes people have a dream. I feel like they don't do it right according to me. Like they'll tell somebody, I had a dream about you and this is what you have to do. And they're very dogmatic about it. Or they won't tell anybody the dream at all because they don't want to seem crazy. But you did it in the perfect way. There was some humility around it. Like, I don't know, this might be nothing, but just thought I'd tell you. Amen, sister, right on script. So with a little bit of, just thought I'd say, just thought I'd throw it out there with no attachment, but you're doing your part, and then you let it go, and the rest is God's business. It's not your business. It could have landed on deaf ears. She could have been like, "No, we don't want kids," and why are you telling me this, Maria?
Yeah.
And why are you in my business? But that's not your business. You just expressed it in the perfect way. So my mom had a dream where there was a man on a tractor in front of the house, and he fell off, and something really bad happened to him. And she lives in the suburbs. There's never tractors. We never see tractors in our neighborhood. But she opened up the windows, and there was a man on a tractor in front of the house. And she's like, oh. So in her curlers and her moo-moo, she walks across the street and says, excuse me, sir, I know this is going to sound crazy. I'm so sorry to bother you, but I had a very strange dream about a man on a tractor. I just want to say, be careful. Just be really careful today.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, crazy lady. Nothing happened. There was no incident. But who's to say that her planting that little seed of be careful might have made the difference?
Yeah. I mean, I've done that too. I've called people before and be like, I've had a dream and it was scary and I just need you to be really careful today.
We don't know. And most of the time I think it goes well if you say it like, let me just say, just be careful. You're not going to say, you died a gruesome death. I mean, just,
it's almost like you take the power away from whatever was going to happen, because like my husband always said, if you tell a thief they're going to steal, they won't steal from you because you've already called them out. So it's almost like when you call out the dream, that's why I think nothing bad happens, because I've watched the pattern of me calling people and being like, I know you're going to think I'm crazy, but I had this very scary dream about you last night. Please be careful today. And then never has anything happened. Now, does it mean that I was wrong? I don't think so, because I also have a pattern that's proven that my dreams are correct.
Yes, exactly. And then there's the world events that we might not be able to do anything about. I mean, there's so many. There's Dr. Deidre Barrett from Harvard. She did a bunch of research on people that had precognitive dreams right before 9/11, and then all the dreams they had before, during, and after COVID. And it's amazing how, I mean, not that any of those dreams stopped it from happening. Yeah. People had dreams about burning buildings and airplanes crashing and things like that. But in some way we could say that anticipating something gives you a little bit of a sense of how to prepare yourself, or what you can do to maybe if there's going to be a trauma, then because you've had a little preview of coming attractions in some way, you might be able to be more proactive in that situation, or lend a hand to somebody who was caught off guard. So it doesn't mean just because you dream about it when it's about a global thing, but you might actually be able to affect some change in a more micro level. Or being a public figure like you are, you might be able to actually say, hey, shut down the airlines today.
I know.
I'm not going to put that pressure on.
I know.
Yeah.
So when you talked about like matter, it's funny when you go to Dr. Joe.
Yes.
He talks about like the atoms that we're made of are 99.99999% empty.
Space.
It's just space. And so when you think about the fact that we have all these atoms and they're empty, I just think about them as being programmable. How do I program them to do what I want them to do?
Right.
So I think that's probably where you say like we're so sensitive just before, because like we said, everyone's so busy being and doing, they're not connecting. And if they were being still, like I remember going on vacations, the few times I would go on vacation, I would have so many epiphanies, so many aha moments because I had space. I was just having cocktails on a beach. I wasn't busy. So things were coming to me. Exactly. And my husband was always like, Maria, that's what you need. You need more space to see, to feel, to be guided. And we don't give ourselves that, especially women. Guys will go golf, which gives them that kind of space. They have that meditation process, whatever. We don't do that. But it would serve us so much, even if we had a nightly practice where, like for me, I do my prayers every night. And then I do a small prayer in the morning. But I think that's why we are able to do more when we're actually aware that we are just space.
And it's an amazing thing because it seems like you don't have time to have that space. I mean, I tell people, just give me 5 minutes in the morning, just 5 minutes in the morning to pay attention to your dreams. That's all you need to have to really see the magic of them. People are like, I don't have time for that. I'm like, you don't have 5 minutes? What happens in those 5 minutes when you do connect with your dreams, when you're connecting, in other words, with your spirit, with your other than conscious self, you're actually creating space for yourself. You're creating a little vacation. You're bending time. You're stepping outside the matrix, and it's like you're going backstage and you're like, oh, wait a minute. This is all just a play. So it's like you're seeing beyond all the ordinary things. And it doesn't mean you don't go back on the stage and still play along, but you have some awareness. This ain't all there is.
Yeah.
There's a bigger picture going on, and I'm a part of it. And even if it's dramatic, even if it's not always perfect and beautiful, there is a beauty when you can see that bigger picture. And that's one of the blessings that dreams give us, is you get a broader perspective. And so much healing comes in just in that broader perspective. It is like bending time and creating space. So if some people are going to listen to this and they're not going to go out on a week vacation, or they're not going to do anything radical, but they might they might just give themselves 5 minutes in the morning, or they might give themselves 5 minutes before they go to sleep, just to set their little bookend before their dreams. So I think we can do 5 minutes. Most of us can,
Well, if we look at it like this, I think we could. For example, we're all so busy living in the 3D world, and most of us just are, fine.
Yeah.
I don't think everyone's like walking on sunshine, right? And so the sunshine's going to come from the creativity, from the opening up, from that stillness. So if you give yourself that time, you're giving yourself that joy rather than just jumping into the rat race and the hamster wheel, which we're just all trained to do.
Right. And we came here in some way to be a part of this world. So there's nothing wrong with being a part of that. It's just, can we step out of it every once in a while? So there's a dream that I had that I call the 5 times more. And it's kind of my way of accessing the 5th dimension. Because a lot of people talk about 3D and how do I get into 5D, and 5D is where it's at, because we can still do all the things we need to do while we're here, but we enter into that place of, it's as if we're in love. We're accessing the magic while we're here. So I was asking the question before I went to sleep, first of all, what is 5D and how do I get more of that? So I go into my sleep and I have my dream, and this voice kind of booms through my dream, and it says, see things 5 times more. And I immediately, even though that sounds cryptic, I knew what that voice meant. And so I was looking around my house, looking at my husband from the perspective of 5 times more. So my husband, I think he's already handsome, but in my dream, he was 5 times more handsome. And I was like, oh my God. And then I looked at my bedroom, and I'm like, and I already love my bedroom, but it was like palatial. Like, oh, I love this place. And I looked in my refrigerator, 5 times more beautiful, 5 times. And then I looked at myself and I was like, oh my God, I'm 5 times more than my bank account, 5 times more.
No way.
And then the voice was like, now you're in 5D. This is reality. Yes.
I just got chills.
Yes, me too. This, if you could see the world this way, this is more accurate than the other way, than what you call ordinary.
Wow. Well, because we come from so much more lack.
Exactly.
It's never enough. We're never good enough. It's never enough of a nice room or a nice bank account. Like
Ever.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, the ego's goal is seek but do not find. This is
Seek but do not find. We live in that. That's such a shitty way to live. Excuse my language.
Oh yeah, another dream I had. Because this is a theme for me. And that voice. You get visions, I get a voice. And the voice came through yelling at me. Yells at me. It's very paternal. It said, you live in the lack shack when all the while the mansion of expansion is always here for you. It's just a step away. And I was able to see my, poor me, how come I didn't get that? And then all of a sudden, oh my God, but look at all that I do have. And it's all just a thought away. And I think we all have that. We go back and forth between lack shack mentality and then mansion of expansion. It's all like both realities are real. But we can just, it's just moving between them. So one of the practices I have as a daily practice is this thing that I call the 5 points of light, which is another way. It's a meditation to be able to get into the 5th dimension. Because really the subtext of the whole book is it's about getting into the 5D as much as possible. And our dreams, like building a bridge between where we are and where our dreams are, is one way to live more often in 5D.
I love that. The whole year in 2022, I was introduced to Dr. Joe and I started meditating every day. Yeah. And Kelly, I could have lifted a vehicle with my joy. I was on a whole other planet. I was floating. And it was so unbelievable. I'm like, oh my God, if people only knew this like whole other world exists.
Yeah.
And then I had surgery and I stopped. And I just started yesterday again, and it felt really, really good.
Yeah.
But you can get there. You can get there with prayer too, I
Yes.
believe.
Yes.
It's just about having some stillness and starting to cultivate that connection with the voice, God, whatever you think. Like I've had voice too, but and the whispers come in different ways. Like I
Yes.
saw this Instagram post that was speaking to me in that moment about my baby, and I was like, oh, okay.
Right. About the ear, right.
Yeah. So
Yes.
I think that we're being given messages constantly that we are not even realizing or paying attention to because our world is so busy. So this is why I always am like, I'm grateful for all the shitty things that happened to me because it's made me connect more with reality, not the fake reality that we're so obsessed with.
Oh my God. Amen, sister. I mean, look at you. I mean, you've got all the beautiful outer things. And because of what you've gone through, you've got an inner world that is equal, if not greater, than what you have externally. And the people you serve, you particularly, like it's incredible. And it wouldn't be that way if it weren't for the difficult things. And I always say, if it wasn't for my dark nights of the soul, I would be an asshole.
I know.
I would be somebody I would not want to be around. And as much as I wouldn't wish any of those things on my worst enemy. And I've been suicidal like 3 or 4 times, like seriously about to leave.
Wow.
I mean, the existential, like just broken. But if it wasn't for those things, I mean, those are what led me to God, led me back to my dreams, back to the things that I had been given so freely once upon a time, completely took them for granted. Because it's like, the water I swim in, what's this water? I'm just a fish. I don't care about this water. And then, oh my God, I can't breathe without this water. Give it back to me. And now once it comes back, it's like, it's so sacred. And then you just want to grow it and spread it around. And the dark nights of the soul, I think we're always going to have. They're going to come. We're going to.
It's life. We're being directed, whether we like it or not. We're being directed.
Exactly.
So if we're not in the right direction, I had a priest in Greece last summer. He said, God will redirect you when you are not going the right way, and it's going to come in a form of pain.
And it keeps us humble because no matter how high we are one day, like we never know how long we're going to have that for.
Yeah.
And it's like a constant game of hide and seek. And but there's certain practices that can stabilize us.
And the thing I'll say, like when you talk about like my outer world, it's funny because I have been trying to simplify my outer world for the last 8 years since everything's happened because I know all of it is too heavy. It all weighs me down and takes me away from where I want to be, which is in stillness or
space,
in love with my baby, with whatever I'm doing. Because it's all a distraction. It's just more junk you have to take care of. And so you don't know it till you get there. I was having this conversation with a friend yesterday. It's like you don't know what you want till you've gone through it and seen what you don't want generally. So it's like if you meet a guy and he's, all of a sudden he's sending you a jet and he's giving you flowers and he's doing all these things like, oh my God. And then it settles.
Yeah.
And you realize, oh, this is nothing. I'm not getting the real love I wanted. It's just the stuff.
Bingo, bingo, bingo.
Right?
Yeah.
Or whatever it is in life. Like what you realize when you get to the heights of whatever the heights are, whether it's a relationship, a career, you realize none of that is really enough.
Right. This is one of the principles in Dreamifesting, which is to imagine that you have the thing you want, but then what's under it? What's under it? What is it we really want? Because some lessons we can learn the hard way. Some lessons we could maybe learn the softer, easier way by saying, well, I really want that success. But if I had it, then what would be under it? What is it that I'm really wanting? I'm really just wanting to feel that I'm connected to God. I'm really just wanting to feel that I've earned my right to be here. I'm just wanting to contribute to people. Oh, I'm already doing that. Oh, maybe I already have what I want. Like this.
That's another thing we don't even realize sometimes. We already have what we want.
We already have it. And then it doesn't mean we can't still go after the career or after the guy or the girl or whatever it is. But we're not going in starving. Like we're empty and this thing better fill us up. It's like we're going after it, not as vampires, but we're like Santa Claus. We're coming in where we already got the satchel of gifts. We're already full, looking for a place to bestow our gifts. We're looking for a place to expand. And that, to me, is the most attractive place. When somebody comes into my world from a full place, I just want to be around them.
Mm-hmm.
And I know when somebody comes at me like a vampire and they're wanting something, I'm repelled. And that's, I think, how the universe is. So when we're wanting something, that's why I tell people, think about what you want before you go to sleep, but don't stay in the wanting, because the wanting is actually repellent. Get into the place of what's under that thing that you're wanting. Let yourself feel filled up with that already, because you probably already have it. In fact, you do have it, I will say. I will bet millions of dollars you already got what you want. But then, so once you know that you have it, and from that place of fullness, then you can still create and still go get that red Ferrari if you want. But you're not going to be going after it like the red Ferrari is supposed to fill up all your needs, because it's not going to.
It's just going to feel great when you're driving with your hair down and your top down.
For 5 minutes. It might be, but then you're like, okay, now everybody, I mean, I had a convertible cabriolet, one of my first cars. And I was like, oh my God, woohoo. And then I noticed guys following me and chasing me on the freeway. And I'm like, now I have to put the lid down, glasses on. Now I didn't want the convertible because it was too, so it's like, oh wait, I didn't really want that. I just wanted the freedom, which I could have anyway.
Kelly, this is why blondes have a harder time. If you were just brunette, no one's chasing me in my convertible. I've never been chased. Don't want to be chased, of course, but I've never been chased. But this is why, you guys get all the attention. Everybody loves a blonde.
Oh God.
So
okay. Right.
Just dye your hair when you want to get a convertible.
There you go. Okay. A little kerchief
or a little wig.
Babushka.
That's so funny. So, okay. So the formula for this is we're going to think of what we want.
Yes.
And kind of set that or plant that seed so that you can dream about it.
Yeah.
Now, if you dream about it, in the next day, I know that when we have dreams, we always want to decode them. My husband started getting addicted to AI decoding dreams. Have you done this before?
Oh yeah. No. And I think it's
Do you like it?
I always say, though, yes, I think there's a lot. Oh, God, AI, ChatGPT is brilliant. However, go to yourself first. You can go to Google, go to whatever apps there are, but go to yourself first, because sometimes it's like if I had a dream about my mom last night, and I could say, not every ChatGPT is going to say mother is the same. For some, mother is a very difficult relationship. For me, I love my mom. I feel like my mom is my kid and I want to take care of her. So I have a very specific kind of relationship to my mom. And if I just went to ChatGPT, I would end there with a more generic version of what mother is. So start with yourself, and then if you want, go to ChatGPT. That's great to additionalize whatever you think your dream might be telling you, but go to yourself first.
Yeah. I mean, I've gone online and said, like, what does a rabbit that's, doing this mean? Or what does, because I'll have these dreams, but.
Yeah, but just go to yourself first. Like if I was, and imagine that you're explaining it to an alien. So what is a rabbit? So how would you describe a rabbit if I was an alien and had no idea?
Oh, they're so cute. They have beautiful ears and, they have little cute paws and they're fuzzy and they hop and they're adorable and they like carrots. And
see, okay, so this is unique to you. Every dream is an aspect of ourselves, of our deep subconscious. If I was ChatGPT, I might say it represents fertility. It represents springtime. It represents many opportunities. But what you just said was something that was very specific to you. And maybe both meanings are true, because dreams are multi-layered. But you don't want to, I think sometimes if we go to ChatGPT or AI or whatever, then we forget ourselves.
What the meaning is to us.
Exactly. So
I like that.
So the second part of the Dreamifesting formula, first is the soul goal aspect. Second part, and I call that the dream cocoon, kind of cocooning yourself before you go to sleep. And then it's about paying attention to your dream, and then doing some kind of work with it. I have a jet set dream interpretation formula that you should use before you go to ChatGPT. So you can, it's an acronym for breaking down a dream. Should I say it?
I would like to. Yeah. And I want to go into soul goals after too. I got to write that down.
Yes.
Because I want to give people an example of that. So what is the jet setting formula? Because I, in fact, if we can use a few common dreams, that would be helpful. Like your teeth are falling out.
Right. Okay, perfect. Well, let's see if we can put that through jet set. Jet set is it's a formula for decoding. I always say whatever it is, the J stands for just the facts, ma'am. So write down your dream exactly as you remembered it, without judgment, without embellishment, just whatever it is. And I could say a lot more about that. But the E is for the emotion or the energy of the dream, which also that gives you a huge bout of information, just like you talked about the bunny. That energy of the bunny was really important to like what that dream might mean. The T is for the title, as if the dream were a movie.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's like
The Exorcist. I'm kidding.
Give me all the bunnies.
All of a sudden, it was a crazy bunny and its head was spinning.
Exactly. The S is for the standout symbols and what they mean to you before checking ChatGPT. So like you just talked about the bunny. Exactly. And then the next E is for the embodiment. So this is where you take a symbol from the dream and you imagine that you are the bunny. What does it feel like to be that fuzzy little thing? Like, oh, to be that precious, to be like, so you imagine, so normally dream work is from the neck up, an intellectual activity. But there's something about bringing in the body.
I like that.
Turning on some music, dancing your dream, feeling it in your body, hopping around.
Yeah, like maybe it's meant to tell you that you're cute and lovable and squishy and
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
hopefully not super fuzzy everywhere. But
There was a woman that had chronic back pain. She would take all kinds of things, drugs, whatever, did all the things, horrible back pain. In her dream, she was walking backwards. So she got up from her dream when she woke up and she was embodying the dream and she started walking backwards and she felt her back pain release. So she's like, okay, this is really weird. She looked it up and it turns out that in Japan, some Asian cultures, they have a practice by which you walk backwards and it's supposed to release all kinds of back pain.
What?
And there was data. And she's like, what? So, yes. So interesting. Her dream showed her what her subconscious mind was tapped into, but her conscious mind had no idea about. And it helped to give her the relief she needed. Yes. Somebody else had a dream. She had horrible, horrible stomach aches. Chronic, forever. She has a dream that she's being pulled over by a policeman and he gives her a breathalyzer test and he says, yes, you most certainly are lactose intolerant. He writes her a ticket for it. She's like, what? This is before lactose intolerance was like all the rage and everybody knew about it. She looks it up and it turns out her stomach issues were absolutely an effect of being lactose intolerant. So her dreams gave her that. So embodying it, taking some physical action, bringing it in. And then so the E is for the embodiment. The final T in Jet Set is for taking it to the street, doing something tangible with your dream, actually changing your diet or actually looking something up online to see if there's any relevance, doing the walking backwards, hopping around like a bunny, even if it seems silly, calling your friend and saying, this might sound strange, but I had the strangest dream about you. And so all of that is doing something tangible. So J is just the facts. E is the emotion or the energy. T is for the title, as if it were a movie. S is for the standout symbols and what they mean to you first. E is for the embodiment of at least one of the symbols in the dream. And then the final T is for tangible, or take it to the streets, do something physical to honor the wisdom of your dream.
I like that. Well, I think every hill squatter with a back issue is going to start walking backwards now. People are going to be like, what's going on in the streets? And I'm wondering if the backwards walk run I've been doing lately with Athena is why my back isn't hurting all of a sudden.
Whoa.
I would have never known, but I was like, wait, the last couple of days I've been doing this thing with her. And because she's chasing me, but I want to watch her when she's chasing me. So I turn around and my back has been complete, like no pain for the first time in a really long time.
Okay.
Just bananas. So now anytime it ever hurts, I'm going to start running backwards or walking backwards.
Yeah. Isn't that bizarre? Some of
It
the
is.
solutions are just simple. They're in our blind spot where we can't see them. But our dreams, that's the beauty of our dreams. They show us what's in our blind spot. That's one of the blessings.
All right, Heal Squad, we are going to pause right here, but Kelly will be back tomorrow, and she's going to be expanding on her jet set formula for decoding dreams. She's also bringing something brand new to the Heal Squad. It's called image rehearsal therapy. It's a way to consciously re-enter a dream while awake to resolve unfinished emotions, unmet needs, and old stories that keep looping around. And if that's not juicy enough, she's also decoding our own dreams and soul goals. Yes, the Heal Squad teams and the revelations were wild. Hopefully it'll help you guys as you're trying to figure out what your soul goal is. Until next time, be nice people, make good choices, and be present. Heal Squad, we have been on quite the journey together, and we're hearing from so many of you just how much this show is helping you heal and get better, and it makes us feel so good. We love, love, love it, and we just ask that you don't keep it to yourself. Spread the message and share the show or your favorite episode with your friends. And if you want to help us even more, you can leave us a 5-star rating and a comment on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and follow us on Instagram at Heal Squad. You can also DM us anytime because we love connecting with you. And finally, you can also join us on Patreon for our monthly live heal events with world-class healers and ad-free episodes exclusive only to Patreon and our Super Heal Squad for as little as $10 a month. So go to patreon.com/Heal Squad to join. Getting better isn't easy, friends, but as I say all the time, it's a whole lot easier if we can do it together. We love you all so much, and we love doing this thing called life with you.
This podcast and all related content published or distributed by or on behalf of Maria Menounos or MariaMenounos.com is for informational purposes only and may include information that is general in nature and that is not specific to you. Any information or opinions expressed or contained herein are not intended to serve as or replace medical advice, nor to diagnose, prescribe, or treat any disease, condition, illness, or injury, and you should consult the healthcare professional of your choice regarding all matters concerning your health, including before beginning any exercise, weight loss, or healthcare program. If you have or suspect you may have a healthcare emergency, please contact a qualified healthcare professional for treatment. Any information or opinions provided by a guest expert or host featured within website or on company's podcast are their own, not those of Maria Menounos or the company. Accordingly, Maria Menounos and the company cannot be responsible for any results or consequences or actions you may take based on information or opinions.